Welcome back, Steeler Nation, to another episode of the Northern Steel Podcast. It's a sad one this week. We are in mourning after losing to the other team in the same state. This is episode 91. I'm here again with Derek Fletcher, world-renowned Viking fan. World-renowned Viking fan, doesn't know jack squat about the Steeler fan base, or the team, or the history, but we're glad to have him. He's here to bounce ideas off of and probably say some asinine opinions that I'm ready to correct at a moment's notice. But this is episode 91, which you know what that means. Derek, name that famous 91.
Why don't you name him?
Aaron Smith.
Aaron Smith.
You should have kept going with your Lynn Swan.
I almost said it, and then I was like, James Harrison's 92, so
hey, next week. Keep that locked in.
I got it. No, this is a steel vault here.
Okay. The Steelers lost to the Philadelphia Eagles this week. It kind of got manhandled, to be honest. I watched this game with a lot of friends of mine. It was my birthday recently, and I was kind of hoping to. There's a Steelers bar here in Minnesota at McGovern's Pub, and unfortunately, someone had rented out that top space, so I wasn't able to really go there to enjoy that game. So I went to a bar in my hometown to watch with the friends. It was a little easier, but wasn't able to hear the audio during that game at all. And as I was watching it and conversing with friends, I would turn to Chris every so often. I was like, especially at halftime. At halftime is 17-13. Eagles are on top, yep. And I was like, it feels like we're getting wrecked. Like 17-13 is not that bad, but it feels like we're getting wrecked. And then the second half came.
Ugly.
Yeah, and the second half came, and the Steelers had the ball for 5 minutes in the entire second half. How about first? So there's a lot of thoughts I've been like spewing over and over in my head and out loud. How about first, Derek? I don't know if you were like able to catch that game at all, or if you care at all. But why don't you tell me what you think from an outside perspective?
Well, yeah, I caught the first half, and then I was in and out of the second half, and that second portion, the second half I missed. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. Russell Wilson started like 2 for 7 for -9 yards. Okay, not -9 yards, but he was like 2 for 7 for like 15 yards or something. It was atrocious. And the Steelers got 2 turnovers right away. The defense was humming. Saquon really wasn't doing anything. He got hurt there for a portion of it. And yeah, at half it was 17-13. And I'm like, I believe I texted you and I was like, hey, like they're playing an ugly game, but it's a 1-score game right now. They just literally have to be like just anything in the second half, and they should be able to just keep it within a touchdown or a field goal by the end of the game. And yeah, it got away from them. We did say that, we had to contain Saquon and just see if Jalen Hurts could do it. But we were also like, Jalen Hurts could do it. And boy, did he. That he had a first half. And I mean, he carried it over to the second half as well, but he had like 290 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. A lot of passes to AJ Brown after their supposed fight this past week too. So tons of force feeding the ball to AJ Brown.
Yeah, he got involved early and often, and maybe kind of a blessing. Saquon was just kind of like sidelined for a bit. He had like 68, 69 rushing yards, but it doesn't matter because on the other side, you had Najee with like 14 and Russell Wilson with 13, and then Warren with like 12 or something. Oh, it was bad.
Yeah, and it's I guess starting first, they're passing up and down the field. With the Steelers' first 2 turnovers, the thing that sucked about that is both of them were in Eagles territory. One was in the red zone, and neither of them had a touchdown. One had 0 points off the turnover. The other one only had a field goal. Granted, there was a penalty on that drive, which we'll get to in a fun segment in a second. But that pushed them out of it, but only got a field goal. I guess if you wouldn't mind, I'll kind of ramble off some thoughts I have about this, which has kind of like been years in the making, or just they've reared their ugly head this year. Arthur Smith, who I've said tons of times better than Matt Canada, but that bar was low. his sometimes the scheme, and I don't know if it's a Steeler thing too, because it seems like it has been with Tomlin in the past. It's just too conservative. It's not aggressive enough. We talked about that Bengals game, and we know the Bengals defense is bad too, where they came out and they were firing and they're passing the ball. And this scheme is just too conservative and scared and predictable as well. And it's kind of that way on both sides of the ball. The defense, Terrell Austin is a joke on the defensive side. He doesn't ever change the play calling. Doesn't ever fix anything from that side. But TJ Watt, I think it's miraculous that TJ Watt is able to get 2 sacks and 2 forced fumbles, just by playing the way he does, because they don't blitz the quarterback ever. They don't ever switch things up. They just kind of let the 4-man team rush and then hope for the best. And obviously that didn't work out for them. Besides coaching, which I think there's a lot of coaching malpractice in this, especially with the time management again by Mike Tomlin at the end of the half. Also, him punting the ball away in the fourth quarter, in Eagles territory, down 14 with 10 minutes left, and then they never got the ball back again. It was 4th and 6 on the Eagles 45. He punted for a man who says, "We don't like to live in our fears," and then he was scared and punted the ball. And the Eagles drove down. The Eagles got the ball on the 3-yard line with 10 minutes left and ran out the entire clock from that point on.
So Tomlin was he was an onsiding in the beginning of the fourth quarter like Dan Campbell, but yeah, he's playing super conservative, and even just to like an offensive play caller, Arthur Smith, like Scotty Miller got 1 target the whole game. I mean, I know they
Mike
didn't
Williams
have the ball.
got 1 target. Mike Williams got 1 target too, I think.
And that was one of my keys to the game was Mike Williams and Scotty Miller. It's like, hey, you're down your main guy. Why don't you get these other guys the ball? And it's like, nope. I mean, Calvin Austin got the ball, but my God.
Yeah, and
predictable.
It was. Freiermuth had a good game, but they're not. But also, that's the other thing is they're not utilizing their weapons more. I think Calvin Austin actually had some good routes, good plays. They weren't throwing to him enough. Freiermuth was making some plays, weren't throwing it to him enough. And then it's the same thing with kind of this whole Najee Warren thing. I know you're not saying it right now. Maybe you're thinking it, but like again, a lot of fans talking about Najee Warren. Warren should be the starter. Najee sucks. Blah blah blah. And it's like I think I said this last time you brought this up. The scheme that Arthur Smith runs does not fit Najee Harris. And he's still been kind of producing well this year, even though the schemes do not fit at all. One of the stats is the team's 12 runs, 7 of them were the really stupid single toss play that they do a lot.
Yes.
They came out of the heavy personnel every time into a box. And they gained on those 7 runs, they gained 12 total yards with a fumble and a penalty. One of the plays I saw on Twitter, they showed a replay of, and the guy commented, he said, "Holy smokes, like this team sucks at running the ball." And this guy commented, he goes, "Well, that's what happens. You have Najee Harris running the ball." And in the clip, it was Jaylen Warren. The problem's not Najee or Jaylen or anything. It's a scheme issue too. It's predictability. They're running the same toss play 7 out of 12 times they ran the ball. There's no predictability, and also Najee is not. That's the play he fumbled on in the third quarter. They were down by 4, I think, or maybe close to. They're down by 7, and they're on their way. They're driving. They're in scoring territory, and they did the halfback toss, and Najee dropped it, and he fumbled. That's like his 3rd fumble of his career. He hardly ever fumbles, and that really killed the momentum of the game. And after I said the coaching things in general, because they never adjusted to stop AJ Brown or doing those things to slow him down, the team also just didn't play well. I talked about like the run blocking not being good. There's also a stat here, which I didn't know at the time because it's kind of hard to watch the game and hang on my friends too, but it says the Steelers missed a season high 20 tackles on Sunday. Okay, that's nearly double the season worst output of 11 misses. And it's a historic showing because it's the most that this person has ever recorded in their 8 years of doing it. 20 missed tackles.
I wouldn't have, just from the 70% of the game I watched, I guess I wouldn't have caught that. But yeah, probably the silent killer there too.
Yeah.
I mean, time of possession. It was just an ugly game.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess the last point, besides the players not playing well and being outcoached, is the referees. And now I don't ever blame a loss on the referees. This just didn't play well enough in general. But there were some really crazy calls. And that's going to bring me to some of my fun I want to have in this, because Derek is a Vikings fan. He's not a Steeler fan, people. So he can look at these plays and from an unbiased opinion and decide whether or not these should be penalties. This is one of the first big ones.
I knew this is coming up.
This is one of the first big ones. Okay? This is the angle they got. This is a little late on it, right? And they called a foul on the Eagles. They called 2 flags on the Steelers.
So obviously it was Washington.
They called it on Washington, and they called it on Calvin Austin, who came on cleanup.
So what would happen was Washington just threw Slay out of the club, as Gronk would say it. If he gets a penalty there, right? Like,
yes.
It was like way overdone. When Slay gets like tossed to the wall, then Slay like throws a punch as well afterwards. So you would think it'd be a penalty on both sides. It's offset. We're done.
Is it
right?
a penalty to block a guy out of the end zone?
Yeah, it was way overkill.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was that not what happened on the Hail Mary to George Pickens in Cleveland?
Did George Pickens get thrown into the wall? Like, he got slammed in the wall, Slade.
That's why he started retaliating and fighting back.
Well, yeah, I mean, he should have got a penalty there too. Well, but did Pickens throw fists after that?
Yes.
See, Slay threw 1 fist. I still think it should have been
2. He threw 2.
But how many did Pickens throw?
Doesn't matter.
5 million. I will say that because I watched that live, I was like, oh, like this is a non-issue, right? Like Washington gets a penalty, he gets a penalty, we all like move on with our day, and it was like Calvin Austin, and it's like, what? It was just kind of like even the whatever the huddle afterwards there was just kind of like people getting together and just basically spreading everyone apart. There wasn't anything like malicious.
My issue with this play,
even Washington. Even Washington's hit wasn't malicious, and I would say Slay's punch wasn't malicious either. It was all pretty like...
Yes, it was. Yes, it was malicious. Would you like me to find the video of the other angle of it?
Go ahead and find it. I remember watching it live, and I was like, this is just such a nothing burger on like both sides.
Here. Here's him blocking him.
Okay, I've never seen this angle.
No one blocking him. Ready?
Boom. Okay.
Bam. Bam.
Okay, that second one was nothing. And yeah, like I said, he threw 1 punch basically. That other one was just kind of like, eh.
My other issue is that the referees told Tomlin.
Hang on. You are so wrong here. This is just penalties offset, right? Would you agree with me?
If at least.
No, that's what it is. Definitively.
That's not what they called.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying.
I'm saying at least, because that's not what they called Derek. Their explanation to Tomlin was that they thought Darius Slay was pushing off the Daryl Washington. They didn't see a punch. They asked New York for a replay, and they said they had no angles of a hit, of a contact.
God, I should have asked that guy.
Should ask the guy from his phone, I guess. Yeah, for sure.
You should have asked me on my couch, I guess, because I saw it.
Right. Okay, here's another one. Ready? Is this a penalty?
No. Didn't Brady even say something about this?
Yeah. This is Zach Frazier getting blocked, falling down, turning over, inadvertently tripping a player, gets called for tripping. No,
his momentum was taking him that way, and like his legs were just, they existed.
Yes. Huge penalty too for that one.
Yeah.
Here's another one for you. This was on the cowardly punt that Tomlin did in the fourth quarter, which the Eagles ended up icing the game on. This happened on the punt. Jalen Carter smacks him in the helmet. And this is what they said. This was unnecessary roughness at first. They called it back because they said he hit Connor Hayward in the head after the change of possession, after the punt. Okay, they have access to replays just like we all do. Here's a replay from the broadcast. Do you see the punt? Oh.
And even he does a little acting job at the end where he's like, blah.
Hit? You see that? They said the hit was after the punt. Hit.
See, Hayward knows he has him right there. And then he even like flop, like, oh. Yeah, it's obvious that's obvious that was a penalty.
And they took it away. No penalty on the Eagles because of apparently it happened after change of possession, which is not true. And then one of my other where's my other good one here that I love? Oh yeah, here we go. Do you like this penalty here? What do you see? What do you see on this field goal kick? What did they call here, Derek? They called roughing. They called roughing the center because they're saying he jumped over him when clearly he's trying to go through the gap and he gets clipped by the legs. And they called roughing the center, automatic first down. They went down and scored a touchdown.
And also the punter's just falling over. They've been very, I mean, this is just classic like ref overcorrection because
I
mean, we're all, fussing about like those blocked kicks, right?
Yes.
Well, that was like not even, at least have him like if he's not even using his arm as like momentum to get up over him or anything like that. It's just, he just kind of gets clipped and falls into the kicker who's kind of falling over anyways.
And at least like, if you want to call that, like have it where he's jumping over the center, right? Where he's making the play. But yeah, so a lot of those plays were those penalties I showed you, besides if you want to see the offsetting one, which is fine, because I would have taken the offsetting one because it wouldn't have pushed him back so far. All those calls came in huge moments. I mean, the fight that was just on the Steelers took them out of the red zone and then it's still for 3. The center BS we just watched, the kicker gave the Eagles new life. They got to have a touchdown instead. The punt no call was ice the game, would have given the Steelers the ball. They're still down 14, but it gave the Eagles the ball, and then they iced the game the rest of the way. And I believe the tripping on Zach Frazier was after a big completion as well, a big run play.
Yeah, that's just that's unfortunate. That's kind of rough.
Yeah, again, I'm not one to blame losses on refs, but like I also read that this crew, I believe his name was Austin X, was the referee crew. That the average like referee crew has a 55 win percentage for the home team that they cover, which is like makes sense. That's like a little bit of home advantage, right? Most referees have like a 55%. His crew has an 86, which is insane.
Well, and
yeah,
I mean they played like ass. There was no. I mean,
they did. They really did.
However, I mean, that's just another momentum killer is just getting calls like that. But also a huge momentum killer was just like, you could have went into this game with like so much energy with those 2 turnovers right in the beginning of the game. It's like, holy balls. Like, how did you not? I mean, you already brought touchdowns. It up. The offense was really alarming. However, we've been doing this for quite a while. And this is, I feel, our first one together where we're going like, oh no,
yeah,
it's 1 week. I think they're not playing. I mean, they're playing for the division.
George Pickens being out is so apparently horrendous for this team. TJ Watt got hurt in that game, so hopefully he'll be all right. Apparently, there's optimism. That's a low ankle sprain. They're saying that he's walking around the facilities without crutches or a limp even. So there's hope that he'll play, but it's a huge one for Saturday they need to play on. But I guess like you know, every year's different. You can't always count this. And my worry, my scare is that a lot of the ugly things in this game, the not as well coached and the conservative thing has been happening for a while. But if I want to go back all the way to 2008, when the Steelers won the Super Bowl last, they had a 12-4 record. They had the hardest schedule in the league, and they're the number 2 seed. They had a game in December against the Tennessee Titans, who were the number 1 seed that year. That game was for the 1 seed, and the Steelers got destroyed, 34-7. And then they ended up, you know, bouncing back and winning all their games on the way to the Super Bowl. So, I mean, I guess it's like, yeah, I agree with you. It's one game. These things can happen, and they can turn around and bounce back. But I guess like some of the ways in which they lose these games in those fashion, it's like, well, I've seen this time and time again. So it's what do you are you going to get into the lab and be like, God, we really got to change the way we're doing things, or are you going to be like, we just had a rough game out there. We'll give it next time.
Completely agree. Yeah, how do you not like? I mean, me and you certainly aren't professional coaches or players at all, but how do you not look at this and go like, Mike Williams, 1 target, Scotty Miller, 1 target. I know they just failed on time of possession, but it's like, even right away, that touchdown they threw to Muth, right?
Yep.
Like, it's just like, why aren't they spreading the ball out?
Or like, we're running into 8-man boxes. We're doing 7 toss plays and they're not working. Let's just keep doing it.
Yeah, let's just.
We're not blocking as well at all. Broderick Jones is letting 2 people run by him. Let's just keep doing it. Why not?
Well, and even to credit the Eagles here, I mean, everyone's like, Jalen Hurts can't throw the ball. So you know what they did? They just threw the piss out of the ball, and then they're like, okay, what now?
I will say, and this is a takeaway from the Eagles, they did a lot of slants, a lot of short crossing stuff, and it worked. But I guess that's like also part of my frustration with Terrell Austin, the defensive coordinator for the Steelers, is that like there's no adjustment, there's no plan for that. He just puts Joey Porter and Dante Jackson on an island, and he's like, good luck. We hope the rush gets there first. And you can't do that with guys like A.J. Brown. They're way too good. Way too good to do that. Devontae Smith is too good to do that too.
Yeah, absolutely. And even to like reverse that to the offensive side, boy, we're really sucking right now. We just need a couple confidence boosters. Run a couple slants, run a couple bubble screens, like really run your pass game as your run game. We don't have George Pickens. Yep. It's like, great. Can Scotty Miller take 1 step, turn, and come back and catch the ball quick and then gain 3-4 yards at the minimum? Oh,
right.
let's
I'm sure he can.
Let's try that. That should open other things up. That's the equivalent of your toss play as well. It's like, yeah, it's rough.
So we'll see what they do this week. It's Saturday in Baltimore for the division. This is going to be the next segment of Keys to the Game. And Keys to the Game are very similar to last week, especially with it's a tough stretch. We've already discussed this tons of times. Versus Lamar. Apparently, I read a stat, which I actually don't even know how true this is. I'm just gonna say it. Like, but I didn't do any research on this. Was that Lamar apparently has never played the Steelers in Baltimore. I know he hasn't played the Steelers a lot because he's been injured. But he's never played the Steelers in Baltimore, supposedly.
Oh, he's been hurt Steelers for him?
Oh, constantly. I mean, he's only played the Steelers like 4 times. Or like 4 or 5 times.
Dang.
That's what they say. And I guess I would have to agree because can't think of other times either. Obviously, they're playing him again. We know the drill. They do a good job of containing Lamar Jackson, and he is playing on fire right now, especially with his arm. So it's going to be the kind of a same but different story. You need to be able to pressure Lamar, get him off his game. They could have had a lot more sacks last time they played Lamar, but he escaped so many of them, as he does. So if they can connect on more of those, it's going to be helpful. But you can't let those pass catchers beat you. You got to find some way to contain them. They did a horrible job against the Eagles. Especially, I would say a key to the game, if you want to talk about from Eagles game to Ravens game, is tackling. I just said they had 20 missed tackles. They have to tackle their guys. Shifty players. Zay and Rashad Bateman are having really good years. Lamar's a shifty guy. Derrick Henry can bowl you over. Gotta
tackle him.
Gotta tackle. Gotta wrap up. Mark Andrews is playing a lot better too. I would say on the offensive side of the ball, please mix it up. You have to mix it up. The Ravens defense, it's funny. I think the last time we previewed them, the Ravens defense was like 32nd pass, the worst pass ranked defense in the league. And since then, they're number one. They've really changed it around. They've been on a tear. Their defensive has. It doesn't really matter that they're number one, I guess, in pass defense, because I think they're top 5 since then and everything. I just think they need to switch it up in general. They really need to find ways to confuse this team, and they just haven't been doing that at all for anyone they're playing. They always run the ball first. Arthur Smith has not scored a first drive touchdown this year for the Steelers. He's not lined that up, and they have to start off a lot faster. So whatever means necessary, they got to start faster. They can't go out there and run it twice and pass on third down and punt it. They need to find a way to get down the field immediately, score a touchdown, set the tone, and then go from there. Keep it confusing. And I guess like the last easy peasy cop out key to the game to me is stay healthy. TJ Watt is banged up. George Pickens is banged up, among others. I want TJ and George to play in this game, because then if they win the division. Doesn't matter what happens after this. The division is theirs. But I don't want them to re-aggravate anything or get hurt any worse, or anybody else for that matter. So somehow just stay healthy, as many people as possible.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. I'd have to say, I'm bringing this back from last week, but Scotty Miller and Mike Williams, get them involved. Like, that's basically your version of like mix it up. Well, yeah, literally throw other receivers the ball. I know Calvin Austin has gotten some action, but it's just like, it just, I don't know. It feels like it was already predictable. And then without like that moon ball they throw to George Pickens, it just seems just even worse. I don't know. And if you have to, I mean, this is for the division. You can throw the kitchen sink at Cordell Patterson, Justin Fields. Like literally, even if you fail, if you're trying something different, that's going to help. And then the first half, like you already said, they get to slow starts. They've got to get going in the first half. I kind of speak to the rest of the game. Like they did get blown out in the second half, but that first half was so ugly, and it was 17-13. Just imagine if they would have on one of them, like rather than just having, if they had 2 field goals versus just one, it would have been 17-16. If they would have had a touchdown, like they would have had the lead. It's like, and they played like dog shit.
So yes, totally.
it like when your team plays that bad, but they, actually were in the game, it can make you feel good. And this is a divisional game, and it could be anybody's game. So I would go into that. But this might be kind of their Super Bowl. It's like, oh, you lost to the Bills and the Chiefs to like close out the year. It's like, who cares? We're the 3 seed. Like you want to be that 3 seed. You do not want to be that 5 or 6 seed.
To counteract your targets too, I get it. Scotty Miller, he was on the Buccaneers, and Mike Williams has made some good plays. I agree with there's 2 people on Twitter who I respect in the Steelers sphere, and everyone else can f off. But it's Nick Farabaugh and Alex Kozora, and one of them had said that the offensive weapons run through George Pickens, Calvin Austin, Pat Freiermuth, Najee Harris, and Jalen Warren. And I think that that's a good core 5 to use, but they have to find ways to use them efficiently. And that's, I think, the biggest problem. I like a running back discourse aside, because I like them both. Jalen Warren is healthy now, and they're just not using him at all, or vying for Cordell Patterson instead of Jalen Warren getting the ball. And it's like, if you're running Najee, and let's say he's kind of having a rough time getting it going, and you run Jalen and he's getting it going, then just run Jalen. That's fine. You know, if you're trying to get to receivers and Pat Freiermuth is staying open because he's having a really good 3 weeks right now, then get the ball to Pat Freiermuth. It's fine. But like you got to find ways to utilize these guys. Calvin Austin's got the speed. Use some crosses on him. Like they're not utilizing their guys enough. So I think like sure, Scotty Miller, Mike Williams aside, that's fine. But like they have these weapons, these 5 core weapons. Find a way to use them more efficiently than they are because they're not really using them that efficiently right now.
That's fair. That's totally fair. I mean, Freiermuth last game did he get a catch in the second half?
I mean, seriously though, they had they had probably like 6 plays in the second half. I don't know. I mean, they went 3 and out on or 4 and out on one of them. Well, so I don't know how many plays, but I know that the Eagles scored. The Steelers got the ball. They were driving quick down the field. And then I don't know how many plays it took, but past midfield, Najee fumbled. So then the Eagles got the ball back, drove down for a long time again, scored a touchdown. Steelers got the ball. I think it was a 3-play drive, potentially. Could be a little bit longer, but ended up on a 4th and 6 at the Eagles 44, punted the ball with 10 minutes left, and then never touched it again. So they just didn't get... Regardless of Muth didn't have, it's like the question is not did Muth have a catch in the second half? It's like did the team have more than 10 plays in the second half? I don't know if they did. They had the time of possession of 5 minutes.
That's brutal. That's really brutal.
Yeah, it was bad.
So at the end of the year, I mean, let's say they don't win the Super Bowl. So let's say they lose wild card round, or they win one and then ugly loss the week after. I mean, if I'm the Steelers, I'm still looking at a offensive coach. I guess I don't know.
I mean, like I'm looking at a defensive coach, and I think they should have looked at that before. You being a Vikings fan should know this too. They should have kept Brian Flores over Terrell
absolutely. Austin. Well, when they brought him in, it was almost kind of like, hey, guess what? Because he was linebackers coach or something.
Well, a defensive, / defensive assistant, but yes, linebackers coach.
I mean, I thought that was just kind of like, hey, we're gonna get you now, so you will run our defense eventually, and that didn't happen. Oof.
No, it's because the thing I don't like about the Steelers is I feel like they care so little about the numbers and the stats, which like I get it. Sometimes stats and numbers are annoying. They don't tell the whole tale of the tape, but like there is also some truth to those numbers. And they're like, well, you know what? Sometimes they only look at like the big picture and not the little things. And they're like, hey, defense was top 10. So Terrell Austin is doing a great job. And it's like, or are the players doing that good in spite of this boring ass play call as he has? Because back in the day when they had Troy Polamalu and such, I mean, Dick LeBeau, they used to talk about Dick LeBeau every week, Derek, every Steeler game. They'd be like, here's Mike Tomlin's Steelers team, blah, blah, blah. And there's Dick LeBeau. Yep. And he's the mastermind, and he would confuse you, and quarterbacks would be pissing their pants in the huddle because they're like, I don't know who's coming and who's not coming. And Terrell Austin's like, TJ and the rest of the line, you guys rush. And everybody else just like cover your guys. It's like backyard football with this guy, and there's no game plan. There's no confusion.
And they have guys. I mean, obviously, like Watt had an amazing like start to the game,
right?
This last week, but also like you had Highsmith and Hayward both making like very key stops. Highsmith made that one where like then they had to kick the field goal right away.
Yep.
So it was kind of like, I don't know. I was thinking right away. I'm like, all right, okay, well, Jalen's driving the ball, but like Ben don't break. Like, okay, you're gonna get a field goal in this one. And the offense just wasn't there. It's just upsetting. And I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what you do in the off season to like improve this team on offense, I guess. Like maybe you get another receiver, but if you're not gonna use him, why get him?
Yeah. I don't know if it's a player thing. I mean, yes, I think another receiver could be nice for sure.
Could be nice.
There's always, yeah, for sure. Those things are always like could be nice. They also have a receiver they drafted that's not seeing the field at all. So it's like, could he be good? Who knows, right? I've been a really big advocate the past couple of years that I think coaching matters more than anything else. And I think Arthur Smith is the O-line coach sucks. I think Arthur Smith is super mid, and the defensive coordinator sucks.
Well,
so
if you,
I wish they would
if you look across
house.
the league, I think that speaks volumes. It's like the Rams are somehow back in the playoff hunt with like paying just Matthew Stafford just to like kind of wing it and get. But I mean, it's the coaching, it's the offense, it's McVay, it's the system there that they have. Minnesota has that very similar system. Like, oh, they're gonna like suck this year, and it's like, nope. I guess he's a quarterback whisperer. I mean, I give credit to both sides, but you got Flores,
but
you got O'Connell.
But it's true though. You can't tell me that like this is. I guess this is my biggest argument for Sam Darnold potentially leaving the Vikings too, because like you can't tell me Sam Darnold leaves and succeeds 100% succeeds somewhere else,
right?
Because the coaching for Minnesota is so good.
Yeah, if Sam Darnold was the quarterback for the Steelers, we would be talking differently. Now, would he be like the worst quarterback in the league? No. But that's not what I'm saying. But yeah, coaching does matter. Who you have in there does matter. I don't know. Didn't they just extend Tomlin?
Yes.
Yes, you can't go get Ben Johnson.
No, I wish they could. I really do. Because I think all their coaches have been defensive. And I say all their coaches because they've only had 3, but I think all 3 of them have been defensive guys. Noel, Cowher, and Tomlin have for sure. I think Chuck Noll might have been a defensive coach, or defensive minded, at least heavy on it. But so it'd be cool to see them try something different as an offensive coach. But Tomlin's got an extension. Again, I like Tomlin. I just think that the things he has are stale, and I also think his loyalty sometimes, especially to coaches, is really blind. I don't know. It's a battle I have all the time. So we'll see what they do against the Ravens.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
And if they win, they get the division. And if not, see you on Wednesday for Kansas City. Let's do some game picks and let's shut up and go to bed. Okay, I got. So here's the deal. I'm going to tell you some of my picks for this week based on how I'm picking them for my pool at work. And I need a lot of upsets to come back and win this thing. So these picks are kind of skewed a little bit because I need some upsets to go through.
A Christmas miracle.
Just so you know. I kind of do. Okay, so the first game, though, is really a coin toss to me, and I'm not really sure, but it's Broncos at Chargers.
Boy, I'm gonna go Broncos. I know that's like the dumb thing to do. I feel like it's kind of getting exposed. Got exposed this last week here, where I feel that Bo Nix could throw a couple touchdowns where the Chargers just don't have the offensive star power.
To me, it's more that the Broncos defense, I think, is on a trajectory of getting better and better, especially on the splash play market, where the Chargers are kind of getting a little bit worse and worse on the defensive side. Bo Nix threw like 3 picks last week, and it didn't matter because Nick Bonito for the Broncos has like 10 sacks and 2 pick sixes. He's been popping off as a middle linebacker, which is insane.
Bo Nix still threw 3 touchdowns. And he's a rookie.
3 touchdowns, 3 picks. Hey. 3 touchdowns, 3 picks.
Broncos country, let's ride.
Exactly. They're really playing well. So I'm kind of going Broncos too, but it could go either way. Then you got Saturday games. The Saturday slate. You got Texans at Chiefs. Here's my first lay throw it out there. Upset. Look, man, Chiefs are probably gonna win, right? They have 1 loss this season. Defense is really good. I'm gonna go Texans.
I picked against the Chiefs. I think no, they played the Browns. I've been picking against the Chiefs, and I'm leaning. I'm going Texans as well. I just like they are so bad. they're the most boring 13-1 team.
Their defense is good.
The refs are great. Or the refs are defense. Sorry. But seriously, it's like Travis Kelce is just like a shell of what he was. Yes, I get it. He's being more of a team player as well. I'm sure he could go off for 100, whatever, and he can show up for the playoffs too. But it's just, ugh. I think
Mahomes has a high ankle sprain. Yeah, Mahomes has a high ankle sprain, so he's day to day. I'm sure he will play, but if he doesn't play, it's North Dakota legend Carson Wentz.
Hey, he got some minutes, 2 for 2, 20 yards.
Yeah,
tell you what, man, that guy's not just tough; he's North Dakota tough. If Carson Wentz plays, they win by 40.
Damn! What if he was just way better? He just controls the offense way more efficiently for no reason. It just pops off. If he pops off, I'll put my hat in the ring for Carson Wentz in a Steeler uniform next year. If he pops off at all for the Chiefs.
You shot him down this year.
I didn't. I would have taken him. No, they didn't want him. Next Saturday game is Steelers at Ravens. Technically, because I always pick the Steelers, that is an upset. So there's my second upset.
I gotta keep the vibe going here. Like, I don't know. Doesn't Lamar still play terrible against the Steelers?
He does.
But he's never played them in Baltimore. Ooh.
Never played them at home. He's also I would say his last 2 games of him playing terrible, every single mistake wasn't really his. This last one, he had 2 picks. Both were in his receiver's hands that were dropped. And then the game before that, his receivers had 10 drops. So both games where it's like Lamar plays terrible against the Steelers. He actually wasn't that bad, but the rest of the team sucked. So we'll see.
I'm going Steelers. This is a Steelers podcast. Let's go.
I'm going Steelers because I want them to win the division. I'm manifesting that. So that's they haven't won the division in a while. 2020, I believe. Cursed season, I know. But that was the last time they won.
Manifest.
You got Patriots at Bills, which for some reason was moved to the 3:30 time slot. Don't know why.
Well, yeah. Because Josh Allen's fun.
I think it's literally because of Josh Allen, because the other 2 3:30 games are disgusting. So they're like, well, we at least watch Josh Allen. So that's why I got moved. I'm going Bills. No upset there.
Yep.
Then you got Giants against the Michael Penix Jr. Falcons.
Ooh, this has aged horribly for me.
I'm gonna go Falcons.
I mean, boy, it's just from I guess if you're gonna move off them, probably a good week to do it against the Giants. I'm gonna go Falcons as well. Yeah. I think even if Kirk was playing, I would still go Falcons.
I would too, and also them switching quarterbacks doesn't make me feel better. I think I saw this game earlier and I was like, ugh, gross. I guess Falcons. And now they bench Kirk and I'm like, yeah, dude, I guess still Falcons. I don't know. I don't expect Michael Penix to light it up. I expect him to probably hand the ball off 1,000 times to be right. So
yep.
Then you got Lions at Bears. Oh my.
I really want the Bears to just be
good luck.
Be a normal team. Just be something, just a semblance of just something that makes sense, and they're not going to be because they're a trash organization. So Lions are winning.
You want to hear a fun Bear stat? Justin Fields and Caleb Williams.
Fun Bear stat.
No, it is. This is really fun. Justin Fields and Caleb Williams have the exact same amount of wins this year, except one buddy's played a lot more games.
You know what? Caleb Williams, as freaky as everything looks, I mean, that guy can throw the ball.
Caleb Williams also has 3 good receivers and and solid weapons, and still sucks. Justin Fields had nobody to throw to. He had like Walmart shoppers to throw to. He still was winning games.
Well, Ben Johnson will be his coach next year.
Yeah, he could be. Also, I was going to say, I'm sure you're picking the Lions, probably.
Yes.
I'm picking the Lions too, but man, the Lions. I mean, you got to be kind of happy about this as a Viking fan, but I've never seen a Super Bowl caliber team just get decimated like this. They lost Carlton Davis, their number one cornerback. They lost another lineman. They lost David Montgomery for the year. I mean, it's insane. It's just nonstop.
Yeah. I mean, but you never want to win that way, I guess.
No, but that also sucks because it's like, well, yeah, we beat the Lions, but they have 35 players on IR. So I guess that's why.
And they're still the 1 seed.
Yeah, it's insane. Next game is Cardinals at Panthers. Here's another risk I'm taking. I'm going Panthers because I just need a win.
I did the risk last week with the Panthers, and they didn't help me.
I did that
I'm
too.
Going Cardinals. I'm going Cardinals. Fool me once, shame on you.
Fair.
Fool me twice. Watch me hit this golf ball. I'm quoting
you got
George
Rams at Jets.
Boy, let's go Rams. I've been kind of gassing them up, and yeah, it's time. It's time. Let's go to the playoffs again.
I saw a tweet that said, "Oh yeah, let's make fun of Aaron Rodgers' washed season," and it was 23 touchdowns and 8 picks. I'm like, that is washed for Aaron Rodgers.
For Aaron Rodgers, it's washed, but he has even said he's like, my down years are people's career years, and it's like, yeah, okay, shoot, you are right. You are right there. He's an enigma, which we should all tune into. I'd rather watch that than his game against the Rams.
That's true. Next is you got Eagles at Commanders. And I really wanted to pull the upset pick here, and I just couldn't do it.
Yeah, Eagles.
I went Eagles. I think they're the new Super Bowl favorite. And also, to help you out, because I know I've been saying this, and you're like, wow, thanks. My new top 2 are Eagles Vikings, because with the injuries to the Lions, I can't I just don't feel good about them going forward. So my top 2 are Eagles Vikings.
Hey, cool. Go AFC. Oh wait, they're not.
Who cares about that conference?
AFC sucks.
Then you got Browns at Bengals.
Boy, well, I guess Joe Burrow is gonna bring his year back and go, "Hey guys, we went 8-9. Okay, we weren't that bad." Bengals are gonna win.
The Browns are benching Jameis Winston, starting DTR.
mean, that's kind of a crime.
I mean, it's to be expected. He's not that good. So
I know, but it was fun.
Was it?
It was. It was fun for me.
It was not fun. Yeah, well, it was annoying to watch. It was annoying for the fans to boast about having a quarterback again, only for their dreams to get shot down. And that's what's fun for me, was to see the tears of everyone who lives in Cleveland, Ohio. Up next is Titans against the Colts.
Oof. Count me in as who cares? The Mayo Man.
He might be benched.
Well, hopefully. It doesn't matter. I think. Yeah.
Who's their backup? Go.
Mason Rudolph, of course.
Steelers legend.
Mason Rudolph.
Steelers legend.
Led them to the playoffs.
Save Christmas. That's where he plays the best. Around Christmas time.
Okay.
I'm going to go Colts.
I'm going to go Colts as well, but I'm going to put an asterisk by it. If they start Mason Rudolph, they're going to win.
Could be. Vikings at Seahawks. This has got trap game Seattle win all over it. I am going to go Minnesota though.
You're speaking my language. As a Vikings fan, I have like the Jeremy Renner meme of like, please don't give me hope. Don't give me hope. Is Geno playing?
Oh, good point. I'm not sure actually. So that could change things too, obviously in the favor of more of the Vikings, but I'm not sure.
Still going Vikings, but god damn it. Like if you show up like you did against the Bears, you're going to lose.
No, there's no way. Justin Jefferson dropped the easiest pass I've ever seen for a touchdown. He's not doing that again. He's not doing that again.
I hope not.
No, come on. That's like one of those anomalies that happen. That's like when I used to watch Antonio Brown and he dropped like one pass in a decade of me watching him. And I was like, we're losing this game because he dropped the pass. I've never seen him drop a pass in my life. They got Jaguars at Raiders. You got juggernauts. Mac Jones against Desmond Ridder. Who's gonna win?
Let's go, Mac.
Yeah, Mac Jones.
Yep.
I agree.
Hell yeah.
Okay, this next one's gonna be tough, and I think I'm picking the wrong pick here. I'm just following my gut. Okay. This is Niners at Dolphins. And I think I'm picking the Dolphins.
Oh, okay. No, I'm picking the Dolphins too.
I think I'm picking the Dolphins. I think it's the wrong pick though.
Really?
Well, the Niners, it's just like they're so up and down. The Niners, it's like when they're on, my God, they're on. Defense is on fire. Brock Purdy's throwing 300 yards and 4 touchdowns. And then when they're off, it's like, oh God, they suck.
They've been off for a while.
Well, it's these past 2 weeks has been that way because they played the Rams. No one scored a touchdown. They weren't looking that good. And then, as a matter of fact, a player quit in the middle of the game. And then the week before, they played the Bears. Granted, the Bears. And then Brock Purdy threw 4 touchdowns and had 300-something yards. And they were going crazy. The Dolphins are kind of the same territory in the sense that, like, when they're on, they look really good.
I was going to say the same thing.
But I guess my saving grace to why I'm picking the Dolphins is Mike McDaniel. That's the coach, right, of the Dolphins. Yep. He is 3-15 against teams with winning records, and luckily for him, the Niners don't have a winning record. So,
all right, go Fins.
Can't bite him there.
Fins country, let's swim.
Let's swim, baby. Then you got Buccaneers at Cowboys.
Bucks.
Yeah.
Well, although I've been picking against the Cowboys and they've been winning. Like, it's like, we're like, Cowboys are shit. If they win, they're like 7-8. It's like, oh.
That's because Cooper Rush is good. See you later, Dak.
No, it's coaching.
Yeah, it's true. Mike McCarthy, great coach. Micah Parsons might be traded. You know where he wants to go?
Nice.
Yeah, the Steelers can't afford him. No. Nah, he's not coming. He's not going to Pittsburgh.
That was so epic. Just an epic build up, and then like, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he's not coming here. and if he came to Pittsburgh, he'd have to play like when he played his rookie season, which borderline, or middle, or at least like the Mike backer or something. Then you got Saints at Packers to close it out.
Saints, they're gonna come in, show up, and they're going to get just absolutely reamed. I was gonna say something really bad, and I decided not to.
Well, you started off with they're gonna come in, and I was like, hold on.
Whoa.
Hold on. It's still Toyota-thon, so Packers all the way. I don't know if you saw this stat, but it was Jordan Love when it's not Toyota-thon is like 29 touchdowns and 26 picks, and Jordan Love during Toyota-thon is 29 touchdowns and 4 picks. So
damn,
he's he's good during Toyota-thon. So
Toyota-thon is on.
It's on.
He loves it.
That's the picks. That's the week. We will see you guys next week to talk about the next game. Hopefully off a victory, hopefully off a division win. We can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Yelp, food reviews, whatever you want to find us. Derek, you got any last words for people out there?
This is it, baby. This is for all the marbles.
For all the marbles. For all the coins. Please, Steelers, win and beat the Ratbirds, or as my son likes to call them, the Baltimore Raisins. We will see you guys next week. Deuces.